Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of The Disruption Show. I am your host, Claire Munde, and today we're talking about personal finance and personal finance solutions. We want to find out how we can best use our money to work for us. And to have this conversation, I am joined by a group of panelists. We have Charity Kirote Munyori, who's a senior manager for women and youth banking at Equity. Welcome, Charity.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and we also have Aziza Hashim, who is a TV host, a radio presenter, and voiceover artist. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, I'd like us to talk about personal finance. They say that personal finance is very personal, and the decisions we make will impact us for very many years to come. So I think to start off the conversation, I'll rope you in, Aziza. Tell us a little bit about your personal finance journey, where it started. Were you always aware of financial literacy, or is it something that you had to learn after burning your fingers? And then tell us where you are right now in your personal finance journey.
Yeah, I think when you talk about burning your fingers, it totally summarizes my personal finance journey. But I'd say it began when I got my first salary, because that was my first actual interaction with money. Because prior to that, you're used to being given money by your parents, and you don't really think about it because the money is not even personal for you. So when you start earning your first paycheck, which was like 10,000 Kenya shillings for me, at that time I was balling out of control. I blew it all up in 2 days. It was done. It left as soon as it came. So that was where my journey began. And through that, I would say, if I'm being utterly honest, I've made a lot of financial mistakes in as far as managing my finances are concerned, from not knowing how to, first of all, get the right money from what I'm worth, because I do so many things. So not knowing how to value yourself financially, which is a part of your personal finance journey. And even when the money comes, you still blow it up. The more the money, the more we spend on wigs and outfits. And I'm still learning, and I've had to learn a lot, and I've had to make a lot of consultations in as far as managing my finances are concerned. So where I'm at currently, in as far as my personal finance journey is concerned, is the learning process.
That's really good. And maybe just for clarity, because we speak a lot to Gen Zs and millennials, you can tell us whether you're a millennial, you're a Gen Z, and if you want to tell us your age, you can. I know women are very particular about that, but it will help us just to get an understanding of your generation and the view of money.
Yeah. I'm a Gen Z, so I live in the moment.
living in the moment. Charity, maybe we can talk to us a little bit about that urge to live in the moment. Start today, tomorrow will sort itself out. Tell us a little bit about how we should manage our money, because there's that predisposition to say, you know what, I'll make money today, tomorrow will sort itself out. And I also like what Aziza said about valuing yourself, because that's a problem that not only Gen Zs or millennials have, it's a problem throughout generations. How do you value what you're worth? Okay, you want to do this gig, you want to do this job, but how are you making sure that you're making the most and making what you're worth?
Okay, thank you very much. Today, at least, we're sharing this with a Gen Z right in front of me. And a lot of Gen Z is also watching this, and millennials, and really I appreciate, at least they know there's something called money, and they value the money. That's another great thing I've learned from Aziz. So you know money, you know what its value is, you know it can do so much for you, and you need more.
Yes.
Not to spend more, you need to plan. Yeah, so thank you very much. And just to say that whatever you do, you need to know its value. And if it is you who is doing, you need to know your worth. And your worth, I can't say it's equivalent to the salary that you earn, no. Assuming you're in business, then sometimes you might have to do business for quite some time before you even pay yourself a salary. But then once you're able to pay yourself what you're worth, then you also need to tell yourself, yes, I'm worth this amount of money, but again, I'm putting this amount of effort. Now, when it comes to Gen Z, the effort versus the money. Those are conversations we need to have, maybe either separately or together, but these are conversations that we need to continue engaging on. But one thing I can say is you first need to understand what kind of gig you're doing, or whatever business you call it. Then after that, get to know your value with the kind of effort you're putting, and can you pay yourself. But you need to first go through some education, which we're going to discuss before you start paying yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, I'd also like us to talk about the different kinds of saving and outlook that Gen Zs have when it comes to money. You know, back in the day, we used to have chamas. They're still there, but then they're really different these days.
Yeah.
While many people would look at a chama as something that we just put money and then we go around like a merry-go-round, these days they've evolved. There are investment clubs and whatnot. What is the outlook for Gen Zs when it comes to chamas? Are you people still having like chamas where you put money, or do you come together and invest? How do you look at it? Do you have like a certain percent that I know I have my friends and we are part of a certain savings plan that we're putting money together? Or how do you go about your personal finances as Gen Zs right now?
I think it's quite different because I wouldn't put an umbrella on it because different people perceive saving and investing quite differently. On a personal level, I wasn't thinking about saving when I got into unfortunately, because let's just be honest. Don't know about a do. Me nataka ku live the life. Nataka ku tengeneza nails. Nataka ku buy the wigs and everything. Yeah. So you find even when you're saving, mine was rather personal when it comes to my own account. I had to consult with my mom so that I could actually even have a locked savings because otherwise I would never save. So when my salo comes or when I do a gig, I'm to Cairo, I'd save on the side. But I also have friends who are millennials and now they pull you into now the chamas. So you have a few lady mentors and they're like, we'll put you inside this. So from my own point of view, it's influenced by people who are older than me. People who are my age, unfortunately, we want to invest because honestly, where my money is going to.
Yeah.
What if I don't even live to use that money? Who am I saving for? So pesa tu ikange tu hivyo just because I'm saving, I'm making wise decisions. I want to see growth in as far as my money is concerned. So you'll find at times while looking for that growth, you make certain mistakes. That's why certain people find themselves in pyramid schemes. We've been caught in that a lot, especially as Gen Zs, because you're told, oh, invest in Forex, invest in trading, and you don't even know. So you take your money there because you want it to grow.
Yeah.
From a Gen Z's point of view, me, I don't want money to ikae to account. That's how I grow. If I invest $1 million, I want 5 million.
Yeah.
So that I can see, I can finally, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charity, what is the financial industry doing to rope in Gen Zs and millennials? As you can hear, Gen Zs, they want to know where their money is going. They don't want to think about, I'm putting my money here today and then tell me to get it after 10 years. So how are you reaching this group of people so that they can understand that part of personal finance is putting money aside, but then it's not about putting money and then I forget about it, because they want to see results. So how are you reaching out to them?
The funniest bit of it is that you invest 1 million, you want 5 million. So, you guys, now, Gen Zs and millennials, whatever you're doing, whatever gig you're doing, please know that that is money and it has some value in it. Okay? Number two, for you to save, you need to understand what it means to open an account. A bank account is very key, because from that bank account we can tell how much your business is worth. You can also do your books of accounts. Understanding that, you're able to even come and borrow a loan, using your bank account. So we are teaching these young, even the older. Unfortunately, it cuts across. Yeah. We have financial education for those who are in business. And we also have financial education for those who are employed. Like us in Equity Bank, we are taught on everything about money, about saving, and you can save in different ways. You don't need to get into pyramid schemes and all that. Even Chama is equally good, but you need to know these people and you must have a goal, all of you. You can open a savings account. You save, we're going to give you interest at the end of the year. You can also do fixed deposits, and fixed deposits are in different periods. There's one that is called call deposit. You have this, let's say even 100K, and you don't know when you're going to use it. Okay? So you put it under call deposit. It still has a rate. If you find you have some money which you need to use in January, you are towards December, yeah? So you can do a 1 month deposit. You can do 3 months deposit, 6 months deposit, 9 months deposit, 1 year deposit. You don't need to wait for 10 years.
Thank you so much for that. As we've heard, there's so many forms of investment and savings, and you don't have to wait for 10 years to recoup your money. Maybe you can tell us, do you have different savings accounts for different purposes? You have, of course, your current account where your money comes in every month, or however long.
Yeah.
But do you also have like a savings account? Have you considered things like money market funds? We've been told that the government bonds have been giving us up to 17.9% right now. Tell us, what has your experience been so far? Because you don't have to wait for that long.
Yeah.
What have you tried so far, and what is working for you? And then what do you also think about is a good return? Because as Charity said, sometimes you want to put 1 million and you want 5 million at the end of the year. Is that really reasonable?
Yeah.
So how do you go about saying, okay, this seems reasonable, or this could be a scam?
Yeah. Okay, for me, I save with a goal because I'm one person who doesn't like taking loans. So if I'm saving because I want to either get a car or I want to buy land, or that is what I'm looking at from my point of view, because I have specific things that I actually want, that I desire, that are like goals for me. So at the moment, I have 2 different savings accounts. One is locked because my mom said so. And the second one is because I really want to buy myself a car and I don't want to take a loan.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me save for it. By the time May Nafika, which is my birthday, I'd love to gift myself a car because I've really, really worked hard for it. So I save with a purpose, because at the end of the day, you work so hard. So I want to at least, unaambia mwili pole. So kama mi sipigangi sheria ama sifanyi hizi vitu zingine zote, the only way kuambia mwili pole is I need to see something substantial that I worked hard for. So that is my kind of savings and how I tend to look at it. I know for different people, it might be absolutely very, 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 very different. Because sote tuko na goals tofauti.
Exactly.
Sahii nikiangalia hiyo investment yangu ya hakuna venye inaweza kama hivyo. Ama what is the reasonable
Yes.
way to look at it?
Yeah.
Because unapata nowadays we tend to look at life with instant gratification, and it's quite unfortunate because every single person is so successful. So unajiuliza pia mimi ido yangu ni wapi naekeza pia mimi nifike penye wasi wanafikia, ndo pia mimi ni flex for the gram.
Yeah. Charity, before I cut you short, we were talking about some of the alternatives that youth, the Gen Zs and millennials have when it comes to savings. You talked about the call deposits, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months fixed deposits. What other options are there for the youth? As Aziza said, they don't want to wait for 10 years, 5 years to see the fruits of their savings. So what are the options that the financial industry has put in place for Gen Zs and millennials when it comes to personal finance?
Okay, thank you. What's funny is that we need accounts that are called Gen Zs and millennials, as we call them youth.
Yeah.
And within the youth banking, we have several solutions for the youth. And just to encourage the youth, whatever you're doing, whatever business you're doing, you call it gig, whatever business you're doing, it's important for you to understand the business very well so that you know what you're going to save, what you're going to reinvest, what you're going to pay yourself a salary. Remember, we said you're valuable. You need to value yourself. You need to pay yourself. But the business must also be somewhere for you to start even paying yourself a salary. So you give it your all. And for Equity Bank, I would say the youth have been given the opportunity to come and do financial education for free. And I repeat, for free. Nobody's charging them. And they have an option to do it online. That's 3 hours per day. You can choose even to do it in the evening after your gig. That's from 7 to 9, or 6 to 9, or 7 to 9. Those will be 2 hours. And then you do it once a week for 4 weeks. After that, you're given a mentor to handhold you. And remember, if you have to start a business, that mentor may encourage you to join their group. They'll co-guarantee you. And we will help you with some money to start your business, the startup loans, where we encourage the youth to join already existing groups so that you're mentored correctly. So with that financial education, you've joined the groups, then now we can give you the loans to grow your business. not to spend on weaves and loans. You take it back to the business, yeah?
Yeah.
So you grow your business, you expand your business. And I've always said you need to borrow not anything below 6 months. To start your business, you can encourage your father, your mother, your brothers, sisters to just give you some startup capital to start up your business so that you don't need to pay interest on a loan and you've just started a business. Remember, you need time for a business to break even. So all this education you're going to get through Equity Bank, and that is through the youth option. And again, for the people who are employed, I said even me, I'm employed. I'm not like Aziza here who has several businesses. For those who are employed, I would encourage you also to join in as an institution so that we train you about your saving today, your retirement, and planning for your future. You know, ensuring your staff, even as you do business, it's always good to insure your staff. Again, you need to live a healthy life. You'll be taken through a lot of things so that at least this retirement age we are talking about, age 60, you'll be healthy, you'll still be strong and doing the best that you can, and having prepared for it like for 40 years, you know, preparing for your retirement. Now, about the investments, everyone is interested in different things. There are others who are interested in vehicles like my friend here. There are other, she's already done her property, so it tells you she's got enough. The only thing we've not learned is how much is she generating from that particular investment. If you have land and you've not done anything on it, it's always good to plan on something you can do and generate income. Sio kujenga nyumba ya 10 million weke hapo ikufurahishe. No, that 10 million you can do a lot of things with it. You can invest maybe even in Equity Investment Bank, where you'll open a CDS account. We get the treasury bonds for you. We manage that particular fund. You can do a fixed deposit and still earn from it. Remember, you're still young. You have a lot of years to go, and you have so many other options. But all these options, you must ask yourself, how much are you getting per day, per month? You know, you can even break it to per minute, but it must, and I say it must generate some income. If you have to invest wisely. So it's always good to engage even your bank. Come to Equity Bank. We'll tell you more about the particular institution you want to join, because we've seen many, especially for somebody like me. I can say I've been in the industry for over 20 years, so we know them. So engage people who've been in the industry longer, and we'll be able to advise you accordingly. And if you walk to any Equity Bank, we have over 190 branches. They will assist you. Thank you.
Wow. I like that addition that you made about having a worthy partner in your financial journey and just getting that free training. Sometimes it's like we don't know where to put our money. And I remember we were talking with Aziza on the sidelines of this podcast about, you know how to make the money, but sometimes where to put it to grow for you is a problem. And that's where your mom has come. But not everyone has that advantage. So having a financial partner to work with you is really something that's important. Now, I'd also like us to talk about Charity. You mentioned how Aziza talked about wanting to have that car. There's a certain car you'd like to drive. There's a certain lifestyle you'd like to live. And then there's that thought that you also talked about that, okay, do you need the car right now? Do you want to live well? I mean, you're making the money.
Yeah.
Do I have to drive the smallest car just because I'm trying to save my money? So talk to that Gen Z and even millennials and even other generations have this problem that you make this money, you want to spend it. If I can drive a Beamer, why not? So talk to these people and tell them the importance of sometimes living below your means, because sometimes people are like, why am I living below my means? What am I working for?
Okay, thank you. I'll just say the worst bit about some people and also the current generation is that you just want to benchmark with the person next to you. Okay? And I would say it's important sometimes to ask yourself where you'd want to be in 30 years' time. I've always said being a youth is the shortest, you'll be a youth for the shortest time ever in your lifetime. You become a kid up to age 18. Within no time, you're at age 35 and you're married. And your story, a youth in Asia, even in Gava. Gava hata inakwambia si youth we ni mama sasa hii agpo andika women.
Hatukutambui.
Yeah? So by then is when you realize, well, I ought to have saved more. And I've always given a very good example. Think about this person who had this, I can say, the camera that we used to use at the Uhuru Park, them days. Akupige picha, akwambie kujia kesho kutwa, apeleke kwa studio and develop. Where is that person today? With the technology. I'm sure you can find them in Uhuru Park. And if I have to go to Uhuru Park, I want one who will just take a photo. Within seconds, he's produced them, and I carry them home with me. If I have to produce, otherwise, I have an option. That's my phone or my camera, okay? And I'll keep them very safely. So I can say technology can disrupt you, okay? Even in your talents. Technology can disrupt you. You've seen what advertisements we are seeing today. Yeah. You know, you're not seeing the real person. You're seeing some cartoons doing some advert. And maybe that time, Aziza was waiting to sign a deal somewhere to advertise. Then you just see cartoons and you're like, oh gosh, kwani they decided otherwise. Well, wali change manenos. And also these employment stuff, you saw what happened with COVID. Again, the people had very good lives, paying quite some good amount of rent. Thank God, most of them had some properties, especially my customers had some properties, and very fast they were able to adjust. They were not living in the up market, but today their children are going to school, they live in their own homes, but I can tell you, it's good they had a property. Because job ikikatika unafanya?
Yeah.
Sure, at Nivo, life has to go on. They have to go to school, they have to do everything. First, the saving will rescue you, but that saving you have to spend it very wisely. Because now paying rent with your only saving, I mean ikiisha, you know, but using the saving to now very fast respond to your situation, and it saves you, money in the long run. Ndio utakam tutaishi na wewe huko, si uishi outside town, kwa heri Nairobi, karibu Nairobi, but at least you'll have a home. You'll at least mahali ya watoto kulala, their schools, everything else. It's only the maybe the estate will have changed, but life will continue, assuming somebody didn't have a plot. Saving, utabaye shamba ama utajenga na ama utaspend. And remember, kuna AGO fika, as I told you, as a youngster, either technology ko overtake or ata job ikatike. Then where do you start? You're spending big time. We expect you to still maintain the same standard. If you are taking this particular drink, I expect you to take that and not below that. You know, you want to be on social media, living that life of your friend. It would be unfortunate. And that's where also stress comes in. Pressure and all that, and you realize somebody was not living their own life. So I'll encourage them. Number 1 is know yourself. Number 2, save. Number 3, live your own life. And think about, in case this talent goes, you see, so for you guys, you're lucky. Save as much as you can. Invest as much as you can. And don't be in a hurry to invest. Sifikiria kila land ni land. You know what you want.
Yeah.
Okay? If you want a space maybe in Runda or near Runda, assuming Runda imeja, please keep your eye on that. Okay? Save towards it. If it's borrowing, come borrow. We acquire the property now. You pay me for 10 years, it's still yours. Okay? Then start saving towards building that home you'd want to build. If you're at maybe 30%, obviously you must have a big queue, so that this house I want to build will cost me 7 million. So I'm saving towards 3 million. Then the 4 million Equity Bank will lend me. Let's have a discussion. Let's know when you want to start the construction. Get all the approvals. You are tunajenga nyumba, then when you are at the rento, then it's all brought down, That's not fair enough for yourself. So get all the approvals for your business, have everything, and you'll succeed. But always know what you want in life and give it your best. And for the young ones, life is short.
Okay, I think I like that. If you can't go to Runda, go to Runda View and really know that that life really goes fast. Eh? The way you're saying, sometimes it takes you filling a form to understand how fast time goes. There's the 18 to 21, 22 to 20 to 30, 30 to 35. So
The rest
you start
over.
over over 35 and all that. So start right now, and as you said, really live your own life. Don't look
Yeah.
at what people are doing, even on social media. Sometimes it's not the truth. People are living lives that are not theirs. So I think those are very important tips to go by. So I think, Aziza, as we wrap up this conversation, what is your key take home from this conversation in terms of managing your personal finances?
Let me just start with don't be in a hurry to invest, because that's something I honestly needed to hear. You honestly want to do something with your money because you're constantly under pressure of, okay, money is coming in, so what are you doing about it? Oh, you Gen Zs don't know where to take your money. Oh, you Gen Zs munasumbua, muko na kichwa ngumu. Oh, you're doing this, doing that. So you're like, okay, fine, I want to do the right thing, but how do I do it? So I'm glad that she's mentioned that you don't need to be in a hurry. Getting that information is quite necessary. And I'm also quite glad that y'all are giving free education. I never thought that it was free. And I think we do need it because, unfortunately, as I said, I know how to make the money because I'm passionate about what I do. But once the money comes in, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what is the right investment for me because it could make sense to somebody else, but it doesn't make sense for me. So what do I do kama Aziza? Yenye itanipatia returns zenye zina make sense for me kama Aziza. So that's also a takeaway that I absolutely appreciate. And yeah, generally I am glad. Nimekuja hapa kusoma. Nimekuja hapa kuwa panelist.
Oh, super, super,
Yeah.
super. Thanks for that. And Charity, as you wrap up, you can maybe talk a little bit more about that free education, because a lot of people need it, but they don't know how to get it. Do they need to go to the bank physically, or how can they access that free education? And then your final words to Gen Z and the millennials on the topic of personal finance.
Okay, thank you very much. Just to say, it is important for everyone to get into Equity Bank, register for financial education. Within the 190 branches, we're just all over. So nobody would say they don't know Equity Bank, they don't know how to get Equity Bank. And you have an option to either go physically. We usually take a group of like 40 people, and then we plan on the dates, like when you want to do your training. Like in Westlands, we're doing it from 9 to 12. We had some space in the branch. And if the branch doesn't have space, we are always willing to even pay in a hotel. Like you'll have breakfast or you choose to have lunch. So nobody's going to Mia Tinja. And we'll make sure your sugar levels are correct. Our trainers are so good. And we'll train you about financial, everything about money. There's the financial budgeting. There's the planning bit of it. Okay. There's the digital marketing. Somebody like me, and my age mates, we need a lot of digital marketing, education, because you realize we still have those big shops, where somebody has to come in and see what you're selling. But with the digital, they're encouraged to just sell online, which you're very familiar with now. And also just about investments, about insuring your business. And even insuring yourself, it's very key. If you're a musician and you get sick, what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you insure your voice.
Insuring your voice, we're still in the discussions about insuring your voice for the musicians, the
I know you said
legs for
soccer
those who are
players,
running,
they
and
want to
yeah,
insure the like
body
Cristiano
parts.
has
Yeah,
insured you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in the discussions with the international insurance companies because locally we've not had any. But it's always good also to insure even what you have first, because in case it's taken, assuming you're doing the cameras and all that, they are quite expensive. In case they're taken, then you might go back to square zero. So it's always good also to think about insuring even your life in case of anything. So at least if you have children, those I know youth have children, and youth bado tu ni sawa. At least your children will have something to show, and also at least for education, your education. It's always good to be informed, and remember, being a youth, you'll be there for a very short time. So when you join the women and all that, the men, you realize that information will help you to carry on with your life. Now, my advice is for the youth, live within your means and also start small. I've seen the kind of proposals they write. They write proposals.
Yeah.
100 million to start a business, and you're like, oh gosh. So it means even 100K can't do anything for you. You can't start a business with 100K,
Yeah.
50K. And I've always said somebody can start a business even with zero.
Yeah.
And I'll give an example.
Okay.
Today, if you send me for Cutex, I know Kamukunje, I know the distributor there.
Okay.
I'll bring you the Cutex.
Yeah.
And you'll pay me. So I'll have made a margin. So I started with zero. It's only that we had relationships. So the greatest thing is relationships. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You've heard it. So just start where you are. Know where you are and live within your means. Thank you so much for that, Charity and Aziza. And I hope you've been encouraged to take the next step. So until next time, this has been The Disruption Show. I've been your host, Claire Munde. Have a good evening.